wow, there's another circle here. Yeah, this is what theologians call the renewal or the charismatic movement. And did you know we have to be very cautious about that? There's some people that almost think the charismatics are like morons. They're not saved. Yet the vast majority of the charismatic renewal movement is biblical. They just have added these excessive things, an excessive emotionalism, an excessive wanting some confirmation by being able to speak in tongues. Speaking in tongues really is supernatural. If a person is empowered by God to speak a language they never learned, and they are so articulate instantaneously in that language that they can actually communicate the gospel, that is a marvelous spiritual gift. You don't really see that anymore. You see a learned pattern, very, very few syllable, kind of a prayer language or whatever called. That's wonderful. That's a sign of having a heart for God. That's not the spiritual gift of Pentecost or of Acts 2 or even of 1 Corinthians 12 through 14. That was a speaking in a language that someone else was gifted to interpret, and it was only for a sign, Paul said, to Israel, showing that people that were not Jews were going to hear the gospel, and they were going to come to Christ as it was promised in Isaiah. And so this whole notion of this excessive looking for confirmation, and look what it spawned. I mean, does anybody really want to lay claim to some of the wackos that are riding around in their jets and raising multi-million dollars and getting in trouble with the IRS and claiming to heal people that they're selective in who they heal? When Peter and Paul walked and their shadow crossed sick people, they got well. These people have carefully orchestrated workers in the back that weed out the people that they don't want coming on the stage for them to slay in the spirit and heal. I mean, have them go to Shriners Hospital to a completely deformed burn victim and heal him. That's the level of New Testament healing, which Paul didn't have at the end. You know that. Paul never had miraculous powers after 59 AD recorded in the Bible, and he lived for almost a decade after that. He couldn't heal his best friend and son in the faith, Timothy, and he wanted to, but he couldn't. So they're off the page with the gifts. They're off the page of the scriptures with their longing. It's almost like the Bible isn't enough and the indwelling spirit isn't enough. I want more. And that's a real dangerous thing, because if you want more, the devil will give it to you. And there are many people that speak in tongues that are not Christians. Tibetans, tribal people. Satan will counterfeit anything. Whenever you get away from the Bible, whenever you're outside the box, you and I are fair game for the deceiver. And what did Jesus say is the primary thing that's going to mark the further we get to the end of the age? Deception. Deception. And so that's why doctrine does matter. And the Reformation was a doctrinal reset from the errors that we're going to see in a moment. So basically